someone, aka Ruby, had sent a whole cookie recipe, and I'm gonna read it out. At random_Roblox_user87. Here's a chewy cookie recipe ingredient for perfect chocolate chip cookies. Ironically, my nickname's Cookie, and I like chocolate chip cookies. You're only good as your ingredients. We recommend you splurge for all of the ingredients below to ensure you get a gourmet chocolate chip cookie. Unsalted butter. Use unsalted butter means that you can fully control the amount of salt going into your cookies, and also ensures that it browns evenly. You brown the butter for a nutty, toasty, deep flavor as the base for your cookies. Light brown sugar. I like to make chocolate chip cookies with a combination of light brown sugar and granulated sugar. The light brown sugar will keep your cookies soft and chewy and give them that delicious brown sugary taste. Granulated sugar. A little sugar will give your cookies the perfect amount of crunch on the edges. You get the best of both worlds. Eggs. Eggs will bind your cookies together. A single egg and one egg yolk will give these cookies their soft, chewy, not too cakey texture. Vanilla extract. Vanilla is essential to chocolate chip cookies. I know it might seem unimportant because you use a small amount of it, but it will take your cookies to the next level. I highly recommend you use 100% pure vanilla extract if your budget allows it. Aldi has a super affordable one, or if you're down to splurge, I love Rolado. Flour. All-purpose flour is our flour of choice for these chewy cookies. It creates a tender but hearty crumb. Make sure when you're measuring your flour, you measure it carefully using a spoon to add the flour. Recommend adding the first cup in and then adding the remaining 3/4 cup. I think the 3/4 a little at a time to make sure you're not adding too much flour. The amount of butter can vary depending on how long you brown it for, which can lead to less liquid in your cookie dough. See the direction for more guidance on this. Wow, where the directions are. Baking soda. A little baking soda will give your cookies the perfect rise and crackle on top. Be sure you're using baking soda, not baking powder. I'm lazy, so I don't stir the dry ingredients together in a separate bowl, but I like to add the flour and then the salt and baking soda on top before folding, so that the baking soda and salt gets incorporated properly. Chocolate. When it comes to chocolate chip cookies, your chocolate can make or break your cookies. Splurge on high quality semi-sweet or dark chocolate. Milk chocolate is child's play. So are the store brand chocolate chips. Go for a good chocolate bar, chocolate discs, or high quality chocolate chunks. Whatever you choose. Use 1 1/2 2 cups of it, depending how chocolatey you like your cookie, and load up your cookie dough for big melty pools chocolate chips throughout your cookie. Salt. Baked goods need salt. Without that, they're just colossally. Salt adds that perfectly nonsense salty sweet flavor that pushes a baked good from good to great. Chocolate chip cookies, dough balls. How to make brown butter. If you haven't had brown butter yet, you must try it. Browning your butter gives it an amazing complexity that enhances so many recipes. Place butter in a saucepan and set over medium low heat. Low heat is key to an even golden browning. Using a silicone spatula to stir and scrape the butter from the bottom and sides of the pan to 10 to 15 seconds. Continue to cook the butter, occasionally stirring and scraping with a spatula. At first, the butter will melt and foam. Then, over time, the foam bubbles will get smaller. The butter will begin to emit and warm, nutty aroma. Finally, it will start to transition from its usual yellow to a deeper golden hue, and at last to the beautiful light gold brown. You know when it's done when you see small floating brown bits. These are the milk solids in your butter separating and toasting. Once yellow color goes to deeper golden brown hue at the last to light golden. You know when it's done and you see a small floating brown bits. These are milk solids separate. I think I read that. Once the butter is golden brown, remove it from the heat and allow it to cool in the saucepan for a few minutes. It can quickly go from light brown to burnt, so make sure you take it off the heat as soon as it makes this turn. This whole process should take 10 minutes or so to the best chocolate chip recipe. The 3 don'ts of a chocolate chip cookie baker. These chocolate chip cookies have been tested thousands of times. I wish these were an exaggeration. So you can trust that I have all the tricks for you. Start taking notes. I won't be taking notes. Don't forget the salt, vanilla, 2 ingredients, blah, 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 blah. Get a good vanilla and flaky sea salt. I promise it will be worth it, and don't overmix. Repeat after me. Overmixing ruins everything. I know it can be fun to whisk away. Doing overworking you do can blah, blah, blah. More cookie dough. But do not do it. You will dry the dough. Sad cookies if you overwork the dough. Once you stir in the flour, only mix until no streaks of flour remain. Do not overbake. Blah 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 blah. The chocolate chip cookie. You need chili chocolate cookies beforehand. Yes, but no. Okay, let me explain. We highly recommend chilling your dough for at least 30 minutes. Giving the dough time rest will allow it to absorb the cookie flavors to really settle in. This will create a super soft gooey center while still preserving those crackly edges. If you bake your cookies off right away, you'll get less complex flavor. The cookies will spread more, and the top will be a little more craggy. They will still be a less complex flavor. The cookies will spread more and the tops will be a little more craggy. They will still be delicious, but I promise they will be much tastier if you give them a few hours in the fridge. My preferred sweet chills is at least 2 hours, but I often chill these overnight and bake off the batch the next day. To make the scooping of the cookies easier, I like to chill the dough 30 minutes and let it firm up a little, and then use a cookie scoop or tablespoon if you don't have one. To scoop the dough out into balls, you need to place the balls in an airtight container covered slightly on a baking sheet lined parchment paper until ready to bake. Chocolate chip cookie dough on the baking sheet. Can you freeze? Heck yeah, you can. You can either freeze your cooked cookies or the cookie dough balls. My personal fave. This is how to do it. Freeze the bulb. I'm gonna skip this part. Actually, maybe I should read it. Freeze the cookie dough. This is my favorite way to freeze these cookies because then you can get a ooey gooey warm cookie whenever you want. Per the recipe as directed, and then place the cookie dough balls in the freezer in a freezer safe plastic bag. When you're ready to bake your cookies or a single cookie, remove ball from freezer and allow it to come to room temperature for about 30-ish minutes, then bake according to directions. Freeze the baked cookies. There's also an excellent way to prep ahead of time. Bake your cookies as directed and then allow them to cool completely. This isn't important, otherwise you'll get funky ice crystals on your frozen cookies. Place the cookies in the freezer safe plastic bag in a single layer of freeze up to 3 months. When you're freezing the made cookies, it's important to underbake them so they stay nice and soft. I mean, come on, look at that melty cookie. Okay, one second, I just lost it. You said you loved me. And back to the bottom. Look at that gooey melty cookie. Have you seen a more beautiful sight? I think not. My reply to that was, stop explaining. Booby, what the heck? You commented a whole cookie thing. I really said that. Anyways, I'm gonna go edit this now.